Hello Night City. So, yesterday there was a Halloween party. Quite good party actually. There were quite a lot of super cool costumes. Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, you know, all these from the 20th century. The usual vampires and ghosts. Some Luigi and Mario. Pokemon hunters. A very cool Witcher costume as well. Had John 47, the famous assassin, on his partner. Yeah, quite a lot of cool things. And me, Johnny Silverhand, at least the old version of Johnny, who, contrary to popular belief, did not die when Arasaka tried to transfer his consciousness in the shard. It was actually just a copy, and me was just stuck for 20 years in some Black Ops location. Fortunately, this V person apparently managed to unleash some deep AI who put havoc on the networks. So I was able to escape, and here I am. So, let's talk about cosplay. I was not actually planning to do something as convoluted as this. It's mostly the result of some bet on the internet with somebody. So, as usual, I've been full in, including very nice Malorian Arms gun, complete with red dot targeting. And it can shoot. A Kang Tao machine gun. Obviously the silver arm, complete with a very dangerous spiky thingy which I try to not kill my colleagues with. The dog tags, the glasses, bulletproof vest, some shoes which I should have on my feet, but you know, not dirtying the apartment. Proper samurai logo. Yeah, so I'm going to explain how I did that, the whole process, and I'm going to sort that from the easiest, cheapest, fastest, to the much more complicated, and honestly, if I knew it would take that long, I would probably not have done it, part. So, I did not film videos while I was doing the various parts, but I took a lot of photos. So I'm going to show you the various elements, and with some slideshow thing on the side showing the progress of the various parts. So, yes, let's rock. Let's rock. So, let's get started. So first, I just wanted to show that. So, at the party yesterday, there were a photo booth that we could use to take photos. So yeah, that's memories for the 2022 Halloween party in Funcom. So when doing this type of thing, what's important is reference material. So there is a lot of things available. You can just do some image search. And that's quite important to find out the various elements you want to do. Specifically when you try to get into the details, like how the various parts are assembling together. And this specifically is for the facial hair. I don't have the same type of facial hair as Keanu Reeves. Typically he has like a small slit on the side here, and here it's all hollow all around, so I had to shave like that, trying to get something not too dissimilar. Let's start with the various props, starting by the simplest thing. So, what you need is some kind of, I guess, aviator, standard kind fake ribbon thing. As long as it's the same kind of color, brownish, purplish, it's okay. So that's what I got, quite cheap online. I also got that for my right arm. It's mostly because Johnny has a lot of tattoos here, and I could have tried to use fake tattoos, but with hair on the arm doesn't work very well. So I just use that so my right arm was not just completely empty. Dog tags. So I like to get things that can be reused in other contexts. So I did not print the actual Johnny Silverhand dog tags. I got some with my actual name, the website, on my actually blood sign. So in case of problem, that could actually be used for something. The one I got, they were just entirely grey polished. So I used some shoe polish to make the black so look like they've been dirty, and I think yeah, that kind of work. Okay. Then, even if you don't see it much under the armor, there is the tank top with the samurai logo. It mostly complements the rest of the armor. You see this on that, specifically good around this part here. Then a belt with bullets. It's not quite what is using in the game, but the whole point is not to be completely accurate to the game character, but to have something which is believable. Also, I will believe that a particular game character is not having the exact same outfit all the time over all his career, so why not? And it was kind of cheap. To go with the belt, I got some rocker style pants. It's not actually leather, it's actually some denim style, like blue jean, which is with some kind of, I don't know, vinyl polymer something on top. So that kind of gives the look of some rockstar jean, and yeah, it works. The main thing is this is very noisy when you wear it, but it's actually very comfortable. Going with the pants, you need the holster. So the holster is something I made myself, and this is actually made from, it's actually a bit of a gaming mouse mat. So this is kind of a very nice fabric because you can easily modify it, cut it, and it's anti-grip on one side, and I think it works kind of okay. So I use some belt thing, which I bought. This is some elastic which I used to put around my leg, and this is attached to the actual belt. And this thing was made from a template. I made a lot of templates. So made it in paper, tried to cut, tried to show how that works, and when I was happy from it, I use that on the mouse mat, and yeah, cut it, and kind of work. So regarding the gun itself, it was not like that when I bought it. So it's a super cheap AliExpress gun, and it's not a Malorian, it is a Melody 1316. But the cool thing is that this stuff is fully workable. Can shoot. It has, as I said earlier, a red dot thing. So what I had to do was to use some acetone to remove the Melody logo. And problem with acetone is that, you can probably see here, is that it's plastic and paint. So that damage, well, it was planned, the grey paint. So I use more acetone here and there in small brushes to give this grimy, dirty look. Added some sandpaper scratch to make all these rips on scratch. And dry brushed some black paint in all the corner on here to make it look like it's dirty. I mean, it took me a couple of hours, and that's about it. I was not actually expecting to receive it before Halloween date, but surprisingly it was 3 weeks in advance, and it even comes with a fake silencer. And many ammunitions, and I'm sure that the balcony of the Funcom office is full of them. Ooh. Talking of guns, that one is the first one I actually got. So this is actually a small light which I added. Originally it's a standard foam gun which been painted grey. It was not actually painted by me. I bought it like that, and the person selling it had made some like fake damage. Problem is they did not use sandpaper on the plastic, so the paint is not sticking. So it's okay, because I decided it will be a Kang Tao, and Kang Tao weapons are known to be very garish colors. What I added is the belt, so same method as what I did for the holster, to make a shoulder strap. Something I did not talk about, that's the Militech all-access card. So this thing technically comes from the collector's edition, but the collector's edition of Cyberpunk, people have been selling parts all over, and I got that one quite cheap, and the seller did not know that it actually was a RFID cards. So I used one of these cheap NFC reader writer, and I cloned the access card of my office building, and it worked. So I can even buy my lunch at work using that. So yeah, that was surprisingly easy. I also had these boots, so nothing special. They are black and they look military, so perfect. One thing I needed for the cosplay was that. To keep my waist narrow, because if the bulletproof armor looks like it's bulging, it does not look very sexy. So yes, I use that. It's not only women having a corset, men need too. Which brings us now to the second part, which is the complicated things. So, all the rest so far was basically bought and slightly modified, and it only required a couple hours here and there to do things. This, on the other hand, took a significant amount of time. So, it is based from a product I bought on eBay, but this is not at all the way it looked when I bought it. Basically, the original product is all just this flimsy material. There were no reinforcement, and this has been cut because originally it was one single part, which means it was not possible to adjust independently the left and the right, so the fit was variable. These things were way too long, so basically it just looked all crooked and wobbly and thing. So to do that, I used various materials. So this is some kind of foam, this is cardboard, this is some transparent plastic, and this is cardboard as well. This foam is very nice, but it's very brittle. You can super easily break a bit. Cardboard, on the other hand, it's very easy to bend. It does not really break, but it's not structurally very strong. So all these pads are made from a layer of cardboard on which I glued some foam, which give me the sturdiness. Also, the foam is very easy to sand, which gives you the nice side there. But what that means is that I had to remove all the threads on all the outline. All these were open, using one of these very useful tools. I had to insert all these things, then re-sew everything, which took forever. Then there are the patches here. Originally it came with these things, which is just like some printed fabric. So I got some proper patches, which I had to install. Of course, so all these things, they are not standard. I had to remove all the existing attachments. I made that as well myself, so I could actually control the tightness of the vest. And on the back, I have this belt here, which is used to secure the waist and on the chest area. So when we wear it, it does not fall or wobble. It stays nicely tight. And these things are adjustable, which was not possible on the original. This originally was same flimsy thing, so I had to open each of these things. I'll try if we can see that. Yeah, and it's been restored here. And in these things, I also passed some rigidity bands made of cardboard on plastic. And this and that has been painted black with some acrylic paint to give the dirty look. And these things are actually ironed over patches, which have been hand-sewn all over. That also took a significant amount of time, but that looks much better than the original logo, which was basically just a template, which was not even centered, and this was the wrong font, so that looked totally ridiculous. On the gun, I have a bunch of logos, like Kang Tao, Malorian. All these things are done using this small label printer. So here I have one loaded and I can print out. And there you go, Silverhand custom. And these are printed on some transparent tape. And I have plenty of tapes. This one is white on transparent, I have a black on transparent, I have a red background, green background. I did some attempt at a 3D effect by using black and white together, but it was not transparent enough. And these things are also used to do some patterns for the arm. Which brings us to the Cyberpunk arm, which is made of this, yeah, it's been a bit damaged, this, and this. So, to do these things, it started by a lot of patterning made on paper. So, like for example here, this is the pattern part for that. This is the pattern for this thing here. The arm itself. Yeah, so this is a part that goes there. So, lot of bits going all over the place. And this is made of metal. So, the metal is actually these sheets of aluminum. It's a 0.3 millimeter, which I use in conjunction with felt. So what I did is to basically do some layers of metal wrapped around the felt, which give me this thickness here. I'm not sure if you can see. On it wrapped over. So that one has been badly mangled in the transport. That one I'm much more satisfied of. And as you can see, it just slides the arm, and it just works. These are made of garden hose tubing. So Originally it looked like that, and what I did is that I cut them, then I use a heat gun to flatten sections, and paper cutting machine to do that. And these white bands are, like I said, made with a label printer. This bit, it's a combination, so also like the elastic band, some Velcro. This band here is also a bit of the mouse mat. These big circular thing here are actually handles, the parts you put on the door. On these bits here are some parts of a car battery, the small red and black thing you put on the poles, with some wires on this. It's not actually metal, it's a bit of this blue plastic cut and covered in aluminum tape. And this thing is awesome. I've been using that so much to do all the junctions on everything. It's very flimsy, but it glues very well, and the entire costume is using a lot of it, including the glove, which was kind of difficult to do because it's very animated, so it needs to move in all directions. So all these things are made of aluminum sheet, and the small details like the rings are made with layers of the aluminum tape. This was difficult to do because it had to be able to articulate a lot. So it's actually a bit of elastic band, like you can see a bit here, on which the metal sheet has been folded over, which means I have full range of movement. The difficulty being of not having all these bits to fold down, and I have to admit that I kind of failed at that. During the party I kept losing some bits of arms, so yeah, not awesome. But this is actually the second attempt. The first attempt was based on that. I thought that starting from some, I think it was for some paintball guns, I thought that starting with something with some kind of rigidity area will help, but it's too flimsy and nothing will stick, and it just wobbled, so it just looked bad. And I guess just to finish, I can give you an idea of all the tools I had to use. So, a lot of bits of metal, angle, measurement, calipers, a lot of staples to keep things from falling, pins to adjust things at the right place, transparent thread, red thread, black thread, kilometers of elastics in various widths. I didn't actually use the white one. A lot of strapping and a lot of Velcro, a lot of tools, pliers to actually work the metal. These things to basically maintain the part of the thing. This I used a lot to wear out part of the leather to make it look old. I forgot about that. Achieving the old look here was kind of difficult, so it's a lot of black and white brushing, and that made holes using cutter and a lot of glue and then painted over to make it look like it's been damaged. And yeah, a lot of sandpaper on things. So yeah, so I guess that's it. I guess that should give you a good idea of the complexity of the whole assembly. Well, I hope that was interesting, that you learned things. Well, as I said, it took way longer than expected, but I learned quite a lot of things. Metal working, sewing, how to work high running tags, something like that. Now you also know why I've not been very active on retro project things on the Oric and Atari. There is that many evenings on the weekend you can use. You can't just do that full time. So yeah, that's it for this video, and see you next time.